Hello, Frontend Nation. My name is Dan. I'm originally from Romania, but I live in sunny, beautiful Barcelona. I've been a developer for around 13 years, give or take. I've started my journey building small games for advertising companies. Then I joined a cool startup from New York. Finally, I moved to Barcelona and I decided to join a delivery company called Glovo, very similar to Delivery Hero and other companies like that. After 3 years of being a senior software engineer there, I decided to start my own company. I accepted a co-founder position where I had to build the front-end tech stack from scratch. I was really passionate about finally starting something from zero and taking it to one or even higher. And this is what I'm going to talk about in my talk, about how to architecture an app from scratch, what problems we found along the way, how to build a team, and everything in between. Well, I've worked primarily as a front-end engineer, but I'm doing backend now and everything. So I would consider myself a full stack. I've started with PHP and WordPress and simple HTML and CSS. Then I moved to Angular. So I was using Angular in all of my projects, Angular 2. I was actually part of a big refactoring project moving from Angular 1 to Angular 2, which was pretty impressive. This is before Angular 2 officially launched, so it was in the release candidate stage. Then at Glovo, we were using Vue. So we were using Vue for all our projects, Vue 2 with Nuxt in the same project. Had a lot of interesting things happening there because we also tried to move to Vue 3 and Nuxt 3 and we couldn't. And finally here at my own company, I'm actually using React in everything that we're doing. So one feature that I think it's not that known, but it's super, super powerful in JavaScript is proxies. So what you can do with proxies is, let's say you have an object that one of the things that I use it for, and it's one of its best feature, is let's say you have a big object that may be mutated in different parts of the app, but you don't know where. You can attach proxies to it, and then every time that object changes or an attribute change in that object, you could get a notification telling you from where it was mutated. So in large code bases, I think the best thing to do is the ability to move inside the code base easier. It's actually very, very important that when you're searching for a function, you find it very, very fast. So the first thing I would do if I would start a real big project is create clear boundaries in the file system between domains. So you want to separate like business domains from the UI part and move all the logic in that, let's say, area so it can be easily found. I would really recommend like domain-driven design. It talks about all sorts of these boundaries that you can apply or design architectures like proxy, like adapter pattern that you can use. So in large code bases, it's much easier for you to change stuff. The first thing I do if I'm building if I'm building a pure function that you just give it input and it gives you back output, I will always use vanilla JavaScript for it. Even if I'm in a Vue framework or in a React framework, I would always choose using vanilla functions. They're easy to test, easy to maintain. So yeah, that's the default. Obviously, we don't live in a perfect world where you can use pure functions everywhere. So then I would probably choose something from native, what the framework has to offer. Like for example, React hooks, or a good idea is to not reinvent the wheel. So know when there's something that already exists in the framework, that the framework is a tool and it can give you the tools necessary to accomplish your job faster. This one is a hard one. So Reddit, I would say, part of a lot of subreddits, programming, React.js, Vue.js. I follow a lot of people inside of the community, like Evan Yu from the Vue ecosystem, Dan Abramov from React ecosystem. Yeah, Andy Osmani, I think I'm pronouncing his name correctly, from Google. All sorts of amazing people that share knowledge every day, which I'm super happy to consume.